Hi guys, I thought I would do a video that's actually been requested a lot on my channel, quite a bit. I guess people have seen my other rants and thought that I would be good at talking about this or something, but I recently just did a video that kind of contradicts this, but what the heck, we're gonna do this anyway. So this is a political correctness rant, and now what I mean by political correctness is not, I don't really even know, this is gonna be a very confusing video, so just there's a warning. Political correctness to me is a very broad spectrum, and I think there's a fine line between saying something offensive and being offended by something. There's a big line between that, you know. Obviously there's certain things that people say that are completely out of line, and it definitely is up to each individual person. Obviously some people are more sensitive than others, and some people can take a joke and some people can't. I think there's such a big difference between taking something, I don't really know how to put it, when it comes to something super personal like body image or race. I can see how people get offended and how people are sensitive to certain things, but where I think that line is ruined or messed up or blurry is when people take offense to things that clearly weren't intended to be offensive. And I get it, and they apologize and we can move on, but some people can't seem to move on from that. You know, I think that a lot of people get offended over things like that are just so petty and so clearly not on purpose, clearly a mistake. And, you know, educate the person all you want. Tell them, you know, what you just said was like offensive to certain people. You know, tell them, educate. I think that's really important to do. But people, I don't think, have to be overly sensitive in those situations where things were clearly missaid or misunderstood. There's also things that are said to a group of people, things that are a joke on a mass scale, things that aren't bullying, things that aren't mean, things that aren't cruel, that people take offense to. And that is where my line really is. I see the, you know, if a celebrity makes a joke about something and people take offense to it, I think that is kind of ridiculous. Like, clearly that guy, that woman, whoever it was, didn't make that joke and aim it at you. You personally, I mean, I've watched plenty of things on TV or read things and thought, wow, I'm surprised no one else has taken offense to this, or ooh, wow, that's a little weird. But I've never personally taken offense to it. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. But I think that a lot of people do, you know, someone makes a joke on a mass scale, and I get that it's like, it is offensive on a mass scale, or it's inappropriate or whatever it is, but I don't think people need to take personal offense to it in their own lives and say, I was personally victimized, I was personally offended by what this person said. Like, they clearly didn't mean it at you. And like, obviously in some cases those things are over the line, but when it's something really small, I think that people just need to get over it for the most part. And I hate being the one to say that because I'm very on the line when it comes to this, so it's hard for me to talk about, because I think half the time everyone's feelings are valid. People who are more sensitive do have valid feelings, and then the people who are maybe more thick-skinned like me also have valid feelings, and people can be upset about what they want to be upset about. And I'm definitely a person who doesn't take offense to a lot of things, but when something does offend me, like, it really offends me. But my issue is more of not when people say things that are racist or homophobic or body shaming, like those things I'm 100% like, take offense and be sensitive, because that's not right. But when it's something that is very barely offensive, like at all, like it's really even not, that's when I'm like, oh my god, can we get over this? For instance, the whole Starbucks cup situation. Do you really think that Starbucks was intentionally trying to piss people off? No. They were told that, I'm sure at some point, that, you know, people who don't celebrate Christmas feel left out when the cups are too Christmassy, so they made them just red. Okay, woohoo, whatever. Everyone freaked the heck out because we want our Christmas cups back. Like, they can't make everyone happy, and I get that, but people like took offense to it. Like, I genuinely feel like people were offended by this. And I have a whole blog post kind of about this topic, how people like take offense to the most ridiculous things. Clearly, Starbucks didn't make a statement saying everyone who doesn't say celebrate Christmas sucks ass. Like, they obviously didn't do that, and that's what's so annoying about it, you know. Starbucks didn't say we're purposely trying to not include anyone who doesn't celebrate Christmas. If someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas picks up that cup, they're not going to burst into flames. And what's the issue? Can we just get over it? It's a freaking cup. Do you not have better things to worry about or more things to be offended by from real things than a cup? It just seems so petty. Like, those things are so petty. Even certain things with celebrities, like, I get the issue when people, you know, wear their hairstyle a way that a certain race has wear their hair for a million years, and this person is doing it, and it's like cultural appropriation. I get that to an extent, but I mean, I don't think that most celebrities who do that even are aware. It's one thing if someone knew that like a certain race used this hairstyle for a million years and they're like making fun of it or something, like obviously that's wrong. But I think a lot of celebrities who wear their hair in a certain style that might be like that either didn't even style it themselves, they probably had a stylist, or just thought it looked cute. They're purposely being offensive or trying to be rude or anything like that. They just thought it was cute. I'm sure they didn't even know. That's where my issue is. Most celebrities who make these mistakes, I think it was Chris Pratt recently a couple months ago, had to apologize because he told everyone to put the audio on some video and didn't think about anyone who was deaf. I get that people took offense to that. It's not okay, whatever, but at the same time, he obviously wasn't trying to offend anyone who was deaf by saying that. Clearly, he just wasn't even thinking about that. And I get that when people are in media and things like that, and especially nowadays, they kind of have to think about every which way something can be taken the wrong way. It's kind of pushing it a little bit. I get that celebrities need to watch themselves and double check what they're saying and things like that because they will get a lot of backlash. But when it comes to things that aren't offensive, I don't really even get how that was taken offensive. Obviously, he wasn't intending to offend anyone in any possible way. I don't even know that his mind even went there whatsoever. Probably not. That's kind of what blows my mind. I think it was recently, also last fall, Hillary Duff and her boyfriend at the time dressed up as like a Native American or something, and people took like massive offense, thought it was the most offensive Halloween costume and made a big deal out of it. And I thought, okay, like I saw the costume and I thought maybe I'm not educated enough on this topic, but do kids not dress up like that for Thanksgiving plays and stuff all the time? I didn't really get how she was offending anyone, like dressing up as someone else. It just like, it doesn't cross my mind. Maybe that's because I'm a horrible person and I don't think of others, but I think it's just these people shouldn't have to think of everyone's feelings, everyone's possible feelings, the way anyone in the whole world could be offended by something. It's one thing when you're actually saying something offensive because you're being annoying and because you're being rude. And even some people, I get they do things that are offensive, and then it's because they're just not thinking about it or whatever. They say something that's offensive and because they're not thinking about it and didn't realize that it would offend people, and then they come to the conclusion that it could have definitely been construed as something that was offensive and they apologize for it and move on. I think that's a small percentage of people. I think that people say things cruelly on purpose, they're offensive on purpose, and genuinely are trying to hurt people. And then I think that there's people who just don't even realize, and yes, sometimes it does require an apology from someone who didn't realize, for sure. But the majority of the time, I think people are just taking things way too far. And that's kind of what this video is about. I think that there is a point that you can be too inclusive. They can't include every single person. Celebrities can't make a tweet or a Instagram post that'll please everyone. Like, you just can't do it. No matter how much you want to do that or how much we want everyone to feel equal and treat everyone equally, people are different. It doesn't matter. Like, there will always be, even when certain people are out of office, there will always be people who would support that type of person. There will always be mean people. There will always be racist people, apparently. There will always be people who just feel the need to be difficult, to not understand the truth, who won't listen to facts and science. There will just always be different people. There's the reason that this world isn't a utopia. It's not. There's a reason for it, because we have free will. And free will, yes, comes with all the crappy stuff like people who are cruel and mean and online trolls and cyber bullies and regular bullies and murderers and people like our president. There will always be people like that, unfortunately, because this isn't a utopia, because we all have free will. And with free will comes all this horrible stuff that offends people, and I get that, and just I don't think that it's right, but I don't think that, you know, everyone needs to take offense to it. People who take offense to, I think, the things that shouldn't be taken offense to are the people that need to realize not everyone is going to be happy. You're not going to be happy from everything, and if I try to please you, then someone else is not going to be happy. So it doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean that they're a horrible person. It doesn't mean that they're offending anyone. It just means that they didn't think of every possible person in the whole world who could be offended by it. And who says that they have to? Like, everyone else doesn't do that. Just because someone's a celebrity doesn't mean they should have to really filter and change everything that they would normally say, unless people genuinely say something that is offensive, truly. I think we just have to, overall, especially in videos I've talked about before, like, I think we just have to be respectful of everyone's decision. You know, that's part of free will. Everyone has their own choices, and I think that, yeah, sometimes you're not going to like other people's choices, but that's free will, and we kind of just have to get over it to a point. And I know a lot of people would say that about me or liberals right now. Get over it, but that's different. It's one thing to make a red cup and everyone freaks out that it's not a Christmas cup. That's different than someone, you know, killing our entire planet and, you know, risking us going to war and things like that. There's a big difference there. So we're not taking offense. It's not like we're taking offense to those things, although we should, because, you know, the person who's running this country is someone who's been a known sexual assaulter, but, you know, no big deal. I don't think liberals are taking offense to that. They're just angry. We're angry. We don't want to have another war. We don't want the world to come crashing down because of how badly we're treating the environment. We don't want a bunch of people to get sick because they don't have health insurance and die because they can't afford to take care of themselves. That's what we don't want. It's not even offense. It's just like facts and helping people. It's so different. There's just such a line in the world of political correctness and like people taking offense to things and being overly sensitive. And I'm definitely one of those people who says like a lot of people are overly sensitive. But the thing is, that I think is so funny is that the liberals who are claimed right now to be overly sensitive and just have to deal with the fact that we have a horrible president, we're not being sensitive. That's the whole thing. Like, we're not being overly sensitive and offended. We're being practical. We're being honest. We're being caring. Those are the things that we're being. The other people on the other side who are calling us overly sensitive, they're the ones who are overly sensitive and clearly have a problem, just like the president himself, who's clearly oversensitive. I just think that when it comes to things that are stupid, the way that Khloe Kardashian wears her hair, or what Hillary Duff wears on Halloween, or what freaking cup Starbucks puts out for the holidays, does it matter? Does it matter? Like, focus on the things that are important, like politics and government and health insurance and the world and, you know, possibly like the risk of us having to go to war someday and our entire ecosystem falling apart. Like, let's worry about those things and not worry so much about all of the dumb stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I get emails from different news sources every day or every week, and there's like 5 different articles that they put out that week that are probably like their most popular. And one will be like about Trump, and one will be about Khloe Kardashian's new pants. One will be about what this actress did over the weekend or something like that. Like, I just think it's so crazy how we put more focus on, if there was an article about Trump and something really, really important that has to do with the world or the economy or healthcare, that one wouldn't be read as much as an article about the way the Kardashians are wearing their hair this week, or if Kim Kardashian tweeted a nude photo, or if Kanye said something that was totally offensive. Those things would all get more publicity because our world is that stupid. Why do we care? Why does it matter what one celebrity said? Why are we caring about these things when there's way more important things to be worrying about, to take offense to? There are way more important things. Like, I don't know, maybe our president being like sexually assaulting people is definitely something that people should take offense to and be more offended by than, you know, a way that some young actress wore her hair for a photo shoot. Are you joking? And then that actress is gonna have to go and apologize for what? For sitting in a makeup chair and having someone do her hair and makeup and not realizing it and not being educated on every possible way that anyone has worn their hair in all of history? She has to apologize for that, but our president doesn't have to apologize for all of the horrible things that he's done to people. Okay. Cool, makes sense. This went from being a political correctness rant to being a Trump rant, but you know, that happens. We need to get over that and worry about more important things. Like, that's kind of where my political correctness opinion is. I get people get offended. I get people are sensitive and people are more sensitive and less sensitive. It makes sense. But I think people just need to get over some things and worry about more important things than those little things. And I get that it's easier to worry about the little things because it's not stressful, but maybe if we took all the energy we waste on worrying about those dumb things, like what celebrity is wearing or how they're doing their hair or what's sold in a coffee shop, then maybe we could actually get some real important things done. Seriously, I think the whole world needs to start taking Xanax. That's my opinion on the topic. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to see more rants and fun videos just like this. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.